Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode. Guaranteed caffeine-free, probably. Anyway,
Sorry.
yeah, we're on a caffeine kick. I don't know. Anyway, I'm your host, Daddy DM. I don't know. I'm playing it. Is it a good name? Is it a bad name? No? All right, darn. I've been using that one on like TikTok. I am also joined by Peggy,
Hello. Hi. What's up?
George,
Ah.
Kayla,
I am a pineapple.
Steven, AJ.
Upon the annals of history do we ride, fellows.
You're writing on the annals of history? Oh my gosh. And Mackenzie.
I am here. Don't know what to follow up with that.
Nothing as witty as the annals of history. All right. And this is Alignment Shift. Welcome. We're a bunch of misfits. I don't know. I'm on so much sugar today. I've eaten like you can't see, but like this many lemon drops.
Caffeine.
So much sugar.
All
let's
right,
pick up.
time to down a monster to match Cal.
Oh, do it. The other day I had 3 cups of coffee and a bang.
Wait, I'm not ready.
Not ready. All right, we're gonna hold.
I can't match people's energy.
Everyone hold for George while he gives himself a pep talk.
Oh, no. It wasn't gonna help.
Give me a G. Give me an E. Give
E.
me a O.
Oh,
Give me an R.
R.
Give me a G.
E.
Give me an E.
Alright.
What's that spell?
George.
Georgie!
I feel better. Alright, carry
Okay, good.
We all float here, Georgie.
Ooh. I saw a very interesting, completely off topic here, but I saw a very interesting fan theory on Facebook that Mary Poppins and Pennywise are both members of the same species, one of which feeds on fear and one of which feeds on imagination.
I prefer the one where
What
Mary
is that
Poppins
then?
is a Time Lord.
I like that one too.
And not as macabre. Anyway, so
No.
picking up where we left off, the party had finished some of their judiciary needs in Amman. Elena dropping off some paperwork and hiring the cousin of a troll to assist her in further enforcement in the city. They began to head toward the New Umber Hills, where Drasig's army is currently held up and preparing for what appears to be a rather brutal civil war at Amman. Through a courier letter that was received by Elena and translated, the party knows that Ananduil and Lorelei are captured among the prisoners in this camp. So their reconnaissance mission has also potentially turned to a rescue mission. Upon approaching the gate, or not the gate, but the pass, which leads to the New Umber Hills, the party realized how heavily fortified it was, and they weren't probably going to be able to sneak in the front way. Quick message to Oliver de Rollo led them to discover that there is, in fact, a hidden goat pass to the right of the cliffs that the party is now en route to usurp, and that is where we pick up. So, anyone have any starting business? Good. All right. So the party, your horse and carriage, make their way along the.
Well, we split up. Remember?
Oh, did we officially? Oh, yes, that is right. We
Yes.
split up. The Vale, Sapala, and Dolores.
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie. It was Mackenzie.
God! Where am I?
We like him better.
And Mackenzie heading toward the Go Pass, while Elena and Glaive and Oldores head back to the city of Amman to catch up some with Oliver. So let's start with the goat boys. So, a girl.
Hello.
So the three of you.
New girls.
Girls.
Oh, wait, girls. I keep doing that. I am so sorry, Vale. I'm sorry. It's the beard.
I got a very strong jawline.
Vale has a beard. It's canon now.
I demand artwork, George. You know me.
She is actually a very, very tall,
No.
very, very tall half.
Georgie, come back.
Anyway,
Georgie,
George,
come
get back here. George, you sit your butt down in that chair.
I'm
I
getting a
think he's
snack.
getting a fake
Well,
beard.
are you gonna give me a snack?
Okay.
No.
Well,
Cal, you are a
Aw.
snack.
aw, thanks.
See, you don't need one.
It's because I've had so much candy. I'm sweet.
Oh,
Anyway, so the three of you travel for about 5 minutes along the southern wall of this cliff, heading toward the west. Who is going to be keeping an eye out mainly here for the goat pass? I will allow advantage if someone is assisting. Caleb?
I'll assist.
All right, and Mackenzie Prime. Or Xavier Prime. Give me a survival roll or perception check.
Ooh. Wait, survival or perception? I can do either one.
Go with survival.
Okay. That would be a 28.
Okay, perfect. So as the cart's bumping along Sapala, you're scanning the walls of the cliff for any gaps or openings, and you reach out to whoever's driving the carriage and tell them to hold back.
I don't think we took the carriage. The other group took the carriage back to Iman. We walked.
You walked. All right. So you put your arm out to stop everyone. I thought you took the carriage. Okay. You put your arm out to stop everyone as you pass a very heavily foliaged crevasse in this cliff face, and as you kind of peer through the dense, thick growing bushes that go all the way up this ravine, you can just barely see through the undergrowth, like I can't remember the word for it, but like a deer pass where animals have been climbing up and down through this underbrush
Trail?
for so many years.
Game trail.
A game trail. Thank you. Couldn't think of the word. A game trail up this pass. That is, for Sapala, you could comfortably fireman crawl along this path. For Vale and Mackenzie, it will be a bit of a smaller stoop. You're going to be on hands and knees, if not lower, at some points, and it will be a very tedious crawl.
I don't know. I don't know how I keep getting teleported to this world, but I want to go back home.
I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna get him.
Look, I've got 6 people's names to keep track of here.
No, you're good. You're good.
And most of you, I knew your character names before I knew your real names.
That's fair.
So,
Then why does my
all
real name keep coming up so often?
I don't know.
Because your real name is more interesting than your fake one?
Sure.
I don't know.
Are
I
we
don't
with
know.
Xavier or Fakier?
It's okay. You could be like me where you thought that George was the DM. So you messaged George being like, hey, what's up, DM? And he was like, I'm not the DM. And I was like, oh, that's great. I'm going to go die now.
Wow, I don't give off DM vibes. Great.
But
Oh,
apparently I
didn't
do.
know. I was so embarrassed.
Now I'm glad I killed off half the characters in the backstory.
Wow.
Thanks.
Wow.
I'm
Cal.
kidding. I'm kidding, and I'm talking about everyone here pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much everyone except for Mackenzie.
So far.
Anyway, so I assume everyone is going to be.
Still time.
I assume everyone is going to be getting down and dirty here in the underbrush. Is that correct?
Well, it doesn't sound like there's a good way over it.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's called
All right.
underbrush.
Athletic checks from all of you, and Vale and Mackenzie at disadvantage. Vale, you're fine actually. Just Mackenzie at disadvantage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or Mackenzie is getting singled out.
because I need it.
No, it's because
Not
Vale's very limber and Xavier is not.
Good.
Can I just fly over?
You can, yeah.
You're the most subtle person.
I would.
Watch him get peppered with arrows.
I'm just kidding. I am gonna go
That
under.
would make my day.
Athletics at disadvantage.
So Paul, I assume you're leading the way.
I thought so.
I assume so, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it'd probably make more sense that way.
Another perception check from you as you're leading forward. 16. Okay.
10.
10. All right. And Sapala, yours?
I got a 17 on that, but my perception was 24.
24. All right. So you're climbing for about 10 minutes here, Kayla and Vale, moving very slowly through the underbrush, and it's a very steep cliff that you're going up as well. As you look back down behind you, Xavier is further behind than you thought he was, probably back a good 50 to 75 feet from where you currently are. You could either wait for him to catch up to you or just kind of continue on your own, let him continue at his current pace. That's up to you. But Kayla, what you notice as you're crawling forward, you glance up and there's a spot in the underbrush that's not natural. As you're crawling forward, you can see, ahead of you is this tunnel going up at a steep, 70-degree angle, 60-degree angle, where all the foliage is forming a canopy above you and then thin branches. Off to the right-hand side of this pass, you can see a clump of foliage that is not matching this pattern. It's clumped and low to the ground and very dense, probably about 15 feet ahead of you up this pass.
I whisper to Vale and tell her to wait for Xavier while I sneaketh up there to just kind of peek and check it out.
Okay.
Poker and
Are you just moving ahead as are, or going to do anything special?
I'm gonna
I'm gonna cast
try
guidance
and
on you.
not be seen.
Trying to not be. All right, roll a stealth check.
14.
14. All right. So, confined into this underbrush, you do the best you can to make very little noise. But being the only being in this underbrush, it's very difficult to hide yourself. But nonetheless, you push your way forward, and as you get about 5 feet from this object, you realize that you can see what appears to be a bow that has 3 arrows notched into it and is pointing directly at you as you are coming up on it.
Stealth backwards.
Sorry, wrong house.
As you stealth away backwards, there's a very, very quiet whisper that that you can hear coming from the bush. Who's there?
Who's there? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, you keep cutting in and
It's your
out.
first. Now you cut out. Apparently we can't. Apparently we cannot whisper.
I said you second.
I'm not here to play games. If you're a scout of Drastic, you're dead.
Oh, well, I'm not, so...
So I ask again, who are you?
I'm Sipala, who are you?
My name is Malar. Scout. Are you with the Rolo?
That's how we got the note from.
You're not there.
You could say that.
I did say that.
I mean that, like, sure, we're with Zarolo. I'm on friendly terms with one of them. Kind of.
What are you doing here?
Well, what are you doing here?
I'm glad we sent our negotiator first.
I'm doing my job and watching my path like Oliver told me to.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, we have some friends inside of camp,
Hmm.
and we're trying to get them out safely. Also here to save Julius and the other one. I don't remember what their names are.
Alton.
Julius and Alton are in the camp, directly among the
Yeah.
soldiers. They've been promoted to the rank of lieutenants.
Oh, that's just fantastic. Let me get my other two compadres.
I'll meet you at the top. And as you kind of turn around to look down at your compadres and look back, he's already much further up along this path than you thought he could make in the amount of time that you were not looking at him.
I kind of like
Son of a bitch.
wave for them to come
Damn it.
here.
Am I still pretty far back?
In this point in the conversation, you caught up to Vale, who was further back than Sapala now, because I assume Vale waited for you.
Okay. Fuck. Hate this shit.
Why didn't you just fly over?
I want to be stealthy. I don't think a glowing red beacon for my feet will help.
No, probably not.
You two, get up here.
How far away is she?
About, well, from you, maybe 20 feet. From the top of the mountain, probably another 100 to 150 feet.
Fuck this shit. I dimension door up there.
Waiting for that. Wizard couldn't do boot camp.
As you dimension the door all the way up to the top, just as you get to the top, this figure in heavy ghillie suit is just crawling out of the hole and immediately has this bow drawn. You can see these special 3 elven arrows all pulled back on one string directly at you.
Great, just
Did he fire?
fantastic.
He did not fire.
Oh, it looked like the sound you made and the motion you did made it look like he fired. Don't worry, I'm with the Dorolos.
Definitely have their flair for entrance.
I just didn't fancy myself crawling on the ground any further.
Keep your voice down. We're not far from their camp.
Stage whisper.
So he, you wait up there at the top of the hill for the next minute or two as Sapala and Vale continue their crawl up the mountain through the underbrush. You both make it up to the top. It is now very fair in the afternoon. The sun has poked out behind the gray clouds and is streaming down. There is fortunately a number of trees nearby that provide a little bit of cover so that you're not completely exposed to the world here. So as you come up, he looks at all of you. He pulls down his mask, and you see this darker-skinned humanoid kind of ranger. Everything is just covered in moss and twigs and leaves. Little smears of black paint under his eyes, coating all the way around in this very thick raccoon-like mask over his face in grease. So Oliver sent you.
Sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
I understand you're here to rescue 4 people from this camp.
Yes,
Eventually, yes.
but also we're
Maybe
here.
5?
Yeah,
Probably 4 though.
Maybe 5. Who's the 5th?
Does Bernie need rescuing?
does Bernie ever need rescuing?
We'll see.
I understand details change in the
Full.
fire. What you'll probably need is, I've been working with the rest of my scouting party on mapping the area. Here, and he hands you a map that I have now shown to players. You are on this map on the right-hand side, where you see that that lovely little area. This is Secret Path.
Ooh.
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 For those of you that cannot open in Roll20, I will send in Discord.
Oh, you mean where it's marked secret
I
path?
forgot to even open Roll20.
Oh,
Gasp.
fired.
Okay.
Oof.
Map of camp.
Bye,
upload.
guys.
He points to a central area on the map where you can see that is labeled as the officer camp.
No.
Your friends are being kept there, as are the Derolo twins.
I really do not want to go to Stabby Lane.
Do you say that out loud?
No.
Okay.
They're being kept in the officer camp?
They are. There are 4 large cages that are stationed right outside the officers' camp. The Derolo twins have their own tents in the corner.
All right.
Well, do you have a plan?
Any other high profiles in the officer camp?
Yeah, plenty of them. Emissaries from foreign nations. Basically, anyone that would be an enemy of Tal'Dorei is a friend in this camp. There's a very tall orcish being stumbles around the camp. Black-skinned tiefling, often seen walking with him, as well as this strange floating eye.
Great.
Wasn't able to get their names.
Can you describe the tiefling again?
Yeah. Black skin, hair as white as moonlight, long horns, wears a very thick plate mail, has a ornate shield and a golden mace.
Wonderful.
Is this fit the description from what I remember of Eldoris' sister?
It would, yes.
Sure sounds like it.
Well, know who one
I'm
of them
familiar
is.
with that mace.
Any other information you can give us?
He points to the map where it says Stabby Lane. I'd stay away from there. We lost 2 scouts in that area. That's why the back half is unmarked.
Now, is
There's,
that just generally what it's called, or is that just a nickname?
That's
Pretty good idea.
that's what we heard the residents calling it. There's a large organization of goblins in this camp.
That
all
tracks.
of them.
That tracks.
We're, yeah.
We had some run-ins with some goblins like that.
Even the rest of the army avoids that section. The humans remain on the outskirts. There's a organized orcish quarter from the Ravagers, separate near the officer's tent. They keep the strongest nearest. Other than that, the watchtowers change their watch constantly, ever vigilant. And there's a ritual every 2 hours. And there's a ritual site to the back. We weren't able to get a good look at it, but there's a large circular platform stairs leading up to it that strange floating eye seems to frequent daily.
Now, this eye, does it have tentacles that have little smaller eyes attached to it, or is it just a literal eye?
It has 1 large eye in the center of its head, as well as 4 tentacles with eyes on them as well.
Okay, Xavier will probably know what this is then.
Make a Arcana check with prejudice.
Does a Does a 34 work?
Oh,
Prejudice.
bite my
Why
ass.
not?
Yes.
Rolled a
so,
natural
Ooh, an
19.
Arcana check.
every time I have to say that, I just roll my eyes in the back of my head. Yes, this does sound like a familiar creature. Your first instinct, obviously, is, oh, that's a beholder. But when he said that it has 4 eye stalks rather than a beholder, which usually has many, this sounds like a spectator, which is kind of a lesser beholder that is usually.
Xavier, put that away.
Oh.
My familiar is a spectator.
No, it's just a dice bag.
All right, fine. I won't tell you what it is then, since you already know.
Tell it for the
Hey,
people.
can you explain for the audience?
A spectator is
I
a
know
lesser
what it
beholder
is.
that often is used to watch or guard treasure or lesser things that would be beneath the beholder, basically. Okay.
And
So
then the final person of interest is just a giant orcish-looking fellow.
yeah, wields 2 great swords.
Question: does he have like one big bulging eye?
Gives you kind of a look. He does.
Well, we've identified all 3.
Actually, do we have a line of sight right now?
At the
camp?
moment, yeah. So you can, from where you are, sitting at the edge of the cedar path here, you can kind of see off ahead of you. It's not far at this point. You know, just maybe half a football field away to the tree line that is on the edge of the human part of the camp. You can see the watchtower, and then the officers' camp is obstructing your view, or the watchtower is obstructing your view of the officers' camp. But you can see the
So
camp.
we're actually right. Oh,
You are
right
actually,
at the.
yeah, you're at the tip.
Out
Uh,
of curiosity, if
Mhm.
I pull out recompense, does it have a scope?
It does have a scope.
Can I use it?
You certainly can. Make a
Cool.
perception check with advantage.
at the same time, can I send Beak flying behind us back down where we came, but have him slowly fly up, and then do a circle pretty far up in the sky?
That was the most disappointing advantage roll I've ever done.
Okay, so it's going down, then back up.
Yeah, he just so we don't shoot him out from our
Okay.
hiding spot. He's flying kind of back down away from us, and then coming back up.
Did both
Gotcha.
Xaviers have a beak?
Nope, only one.
Okay.
Other one hasn't cast Find Familiar yet.
All right. So Beak goes back down the goat path, back a little further to the west, and flies back up, closer to the center of where the gate is, where you had originally sent him to survey. What are you looking for?
Just getting a general lookout. Mainly looking for any of those 3 figures.
Okay. Glaive or Vale, what was your roll?
11.
11. What are you looking at? Are you looking at the officer camp, the human
I
camp?
was trying to look at the officer camp.
Okay.
Rolled a 2 and a 4.
So you pull out that weird scopy thing that's on the end of that thing you know is a gun, and
Weird scopy thing.
look through it, and it's really disorienting. Suddenly your vision's like whoop, forward.
Definitely not clean.
And yeah, it's definitely not clean. You try to wipe it off. There's a lot of smearing. You use your thumb to like try to wipe it off, and that just ends up kind of making it worse. And you're not entirely sure why. You try your sleeve. You can just barely make out. There's a large set of wooden barricades on the other side, and just past them, you can make out these weird wrought iron cages. If you're looking at, you see the watchtower.
Mhm.
Continue diagonally, you see the next like circular thing.
Mhm.
Directly north of that, you see the line that would be the wooden barricade that you see. On the exact opposite side of that, but still in the circle, you can see 4 kind of wrought iron cages glinting in the sunlight.
Okay.
Xavier, what did you roll for perception?
Oh, I didn't know that you asked for a perception roll.
Oh, sorry. Roll for your perception with Beak.
This map is specifically labeled New Umber Hills.
23.
Yes. 23. All right. So as he's flying over the camp, there are a large number of people just kind of milling about. There are large 4-person squads walking on patrols all around the walking paths, constantly passing each other, relieving guards that are on duty, watching all the major intersections. The watchtower, you can see each four sides of it has its own guard, and every couple of minutes they simultaneously rotate, so that there's a kind of fresh guard every couple of minutes on every single side. Glancing around specifically for either Lilette, Grogath Gorgoth, or who was the third one? My brain shut off.
The Spectator.
Oh yes, the Spectator. You don't see Grogath Gorgoth or Lilette, but presently through Beak, starting at the ritual site, you can see this strange green-colored floating sack with 4 tentacles protruding from it, moving up toward the site, just kind of hovering along the path.
All right. I'm going to watch it. Have Beak watch it for a couple minutes and see if it's watch it for a little bit and see if it's patrolling along a set path.
Okay.
Or what it does every so often.
All right. Are y'all just gonna sit here and watch while Glaive watches the Watcher?
We're gonna watch Clay.
There was
How'd I
two
get
dudes up
here?
there,
Where
wasn't
am I?
I?
Shoot, Dad. See, this is why I say Mackenzie. Watch as Mackenzie watches the watch.
I don't know who this
Two
Mackenzie
dudes up
guy
on
is, but I like him.
in the
Oh my
secret
God.
path with us, right?
Uh-oh. He's going to get a dragon.
Wow.
All right. Tomb of Foes. What?
Yes.
There was 2 dudes up there with us, right?
No. 1. The Scouts?
Yeah, I thought there were 2.
Just 1 Scout. Malar. Or
Oh. Well. What's his name?
no, that's right.
again?
Malar. Malar. M''Lar. Malar.
Can I give him a flower?
You hand him a flower. He kind of looks at it for a moment, and then kind of, in the same way, unceremoniously, but also in a way oddly elegant, tears the flower up and then stuffs it into various parts of his ghillie suit. Thank you. Mackenzie. So, assuming everyone is watching Xavier watch watch the Spectator, which I'm still laughing at this watch of the watch. The Spectator makes it up the stairs of this ritual platform that is up here. It's the very same stone that is hewn from the mountainside itself. So it was definitely here to begin with. This is not a new construction. It's very old. The Spectator gets up to the very center, and as it does, this black flame, for lack of a better explanation, a complete void of light, but at the same time writhing and dancing like a fire, appears in the center of this platform, and the Spectator kind of just stops on the edge of it, and it looks, from Beak's perspective, like it's just standing there staring into the void.
My God, it's Maleficent.
And all the powers of hell! Turns into a dragon, eats them all.
That
Oh,
was easy.
well, our friends are dead.
Wrap it up.
Sorry, Elena, your brothers have been eaten by a dragon.
Pub crawl,
It's
anyone?
fine. I'm
Good
gonna turn him
news.
into
Your brothers aren't trapped anymore.
Good
Bad
news.
There's a dragon. These may or may not be related.
Anyway, so you watch for a couple minutes, and there does not appear to be any change. It continues to just stare off into this void for a good 5 minutes until you realize that there's probably not going to be much in the way of change. You would have to watch for an extended time to see what it does next, most likely.
Okay, I'll have Beak come back and I get out of his senses.
Okay. Beak returns.
Well, I spotted that spectator and it went and started to stare off into the void. Much of a watcher that thing is. But until we get a bit more information from the others, I'm gonna have to wait here for a little bit.
The others?
Yes, we plan to bring more. Quite
All right.
quickly.
I'll head back down the path then. Keep an eye out for more others. What should I keep an eye out for?
Well,
People who are just as clumsy.
yes, but the people I'm bringing here will be here magically.
Then I'll go down and continue to guard the pass.
Sounds like a plan.
What was the distance from here to the watchtower?
From here to the watchtower. Probably about half a football field. So what's that? 50? I think that's 50 yards. I can't remember.
I think so.
I'm gonna go with 50 yards because I don't play football.
Same.
It's 50 yards.
Yay! What's that in feet? 150.
Sure.
Cool.
How many feet is 50 yards? 150 feet. Hey, good job.
Yes. You're wonderful. Proud of you, George.
Thanks.
All right. So, as Malar heads his way back down the path, I am going to switch over to Elena Johanna von Yusuf-Kolowski to roll the third of the first house,
I'm not
Whitestone.
a third.
She's the third? Oh god, there's more.
No.
Damn it, I was doing so well. Oldorez, Xavier, 2, and Glaive.
We need to give
So,
him another name.
And
Thank
also,
you.
And Glaive and Yildores.
give them all a new name. So, rewinding time, about a half hour here. The four of you are sitting in the cart and heading back toward Iman. Anything we're doing on the journey?
Stressing.
Okay. Stressing?
Pretty
Okay,
well
fair.
nothing.
Pretty well nothing. All right. So
Wanna get
assuming
back to the
military district. All right. So the four of you enter the military district. There is a heavy guard regiment around here right now. Looks like the combined forces of Whitestone and Amon are all stationed here in the military district, and you can see large platoons of the troops are organizing and prepping for any incoming battle. I would like Glaive. I don't make you roll a lot. Glaive, make a perception check.
Oh, that sounded like a big threat, and I'm into it.
Oh, you'll know when I'm threatening.
Oh my. Promise.
Anyone else get a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit excited about that the Dungeons and Dragons TikTok about the paddle?
No,
didn't see it.
I haven't seen it.
17. I can't see TikTok,
Oh.
GIFs, or pics.
Oh goodness gracious! We need to get you a new phone.
That's sad.
It's the Messenger app.
Oh. Well, basically, this DM has a paddle, and anytime their player gets a natural 20, they get a spanking.
I'm into it.
I'm safe.
Alright, I'm not safe.
So, Glaive, you said you got a 17.
Alright.
Yes, sir.
There is one thing
I'm
that's
trying
very.
to offer him assistance.
There's one thing that's very. You wouldn't be able to help this. This is kind of more of a passing glance as entering this thing, which would not be an assisting endeavor. As you are entering, one of the carts that goes by, you recognize Glaive. They are wearing a very expensive set of armor that is very rustic, and to any other passerby, they would look like simple hunters, people adorned in just bones and cloth. But as you, being the apprentice of Cudgel and a blacksmith and a cleric of the Forge, you recognize the material that armor is made out of, and there's probably about 6 members in the cart, and each and every one of them is wearing a full set of dragon bone plate armor,
Fun.
and they are heading out of the military district as y'all are coming in.
Do they have a brand or a flag?
You did not see one. They looked very ramshackle. The best way I could describe them is, how familiar are you with the movie Dragonheart?
Very.
Years ago.
All right, not familiar enough for me. Great
Love
movie,
that movie.
but
Love that
not
movie.
familiar enough for me to say the Dragon Slayers from that movie. So I think, Viking wood elf, very just bone helmets and bone shoulder pads, leathers and battle axes kind of people.
Very stereotypical wood elf.
Yeah, very stereotypical
Yeah.
wood elf. We'll go with that.
That's racist. Anyways.
All right.
All right, they are impressive. Wonder where they're going to.
You could ask them.
I was under the impression I already passed them.
You did pass them, but they're still, within 50 feet of you down the road the other way.
I'm not gonna run screaming after some people in a cart because their armor looks pretty. That would make me look like a crazy person.
I mean, you already look like a crazy
I'll run
person. but
quietly
whatever.
after that.
Can I find, I don't know, a guard from Whitestone potentially, and ask them where Oliver is?
Yeah, easy enough. As you're walking through a Whitestone guard on horseback, and he's wielding one of these halberd rifles that you saw the cavalry charge in on, and it is, the best way I could describe it is almost like a lance. It is so long in the front with a halberd tip and a musket barrel at the top of it, which extends to a very long shaft that comes back, and it's very thick at the back end, where it behaves like a lance and is counterweighted up against his armor. So he's currently got it holstered
Yeah.
up above him. As you walk up, he seems to recognize you. Ah, Madame de Rollo.
I haven't been called madam before, but do you know where my brother Oliver is?
Oh, he'll be in the garrison. Big building over there on the left.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
You have a nice day.
You too, ma'am.
Bye. Go off.
All right. You lead the cart over to the large garrison building. Very tall castle fortification, very thick walls. But as you enter the kind of front of it, there's a large portcullis that is currently open, and people are streaming back and forth in and out of this fortification for whatever reason, be it carrying arms and armor, paperwork, supplies. It is bustling in this district right now. But as you do come in, archery ranges in this kind of main courtyard. You wait a little bit because the courtyard is currently, archers are shooting across it, and the flow of traffic is actually weighted as they send a volley.
Yeah.
And then after it goes, everyone kind of moves forward, and you follow this rhythm easily and make your way across the courtyard to the main building. As you approach, the doors are just opening and closing and opening and closing. 2 guards stand beside it, but don't seem to be giving any harassment to people going in and out. I assume all 4 of you are heading in?
Sure.
Mackenzie, are you with us? No, he's muted. So we're going to say Mackenzie, secondary, stays with the cart. The 3 of you enter the front of the building, and there is a, for lack of a better term, a war room. As you enter the front of the fortification, a very large table with a map of all Tal'Dorei is on it, and they have the strategic locations of the New Umber Hills marked with a large red, almost like a nail that has a red piece of cloth that has been tied around it, marking where Drassic's camp was, and you can see the physical representations they have used for what strength of army is located there. And you see not just Tal'Dorei, but there is Exandria and Elysia and Marquette, all the other islands, and there are different strategic tokens on each of them. Oliver is currently, pointing to various parts of the map, discussing moving some of the troops around. Very war room scenario. But you have entered. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna walk up to the table, but I'm just gonna like let them continue.
Okay. So as you walk up, Oliver is mid-sentence, which is why I'm very concerned about the reports from the Riffin Mist. His eyes meet you.
Hmm.
Jungle.
And I do like a continue wave.
Sorry. With reports that scouting parties have been sent north from the Riffin Mist jungle, have passed Singorn, and entered the Umber Hills themselves, I do would like to send a counter scouting party into the Riffin Mist to discuss what might lie down there that would interest the Jurassic Army. Take Platoon 6 and Hawthorne down together. Regiment Whitestone, Regiment Iman. Potentially stop. I'm sorry.
No, this is a cow question. You
Oh,
said
cow
the
question.
Riffin Mist, that's south of the
Yep.
Seaborn, right?
That
That's
is
where
correct.
the Bollywogs are?
That is correct.
Okay. I put a hand up. I know what's in the Riven Mist jungle.
Mid-sentence, Oliver. I'm sorry.
You don't have to send a scout. I know what's in those jungles. And what might
Then
interest him.
might this be pressing information?
Yes, and that's why I'm sharing it right now. It's the Bollywog people. They're frog, amphibian type creatures.
Hardly sounds organized enough to be sending a scouting mission.
No, it's quite organized actually. They have an entire culture and fighting and very well trained soldiers in samurai situation.
Someone get that cat out of the war room. Very instrumental.
Sorry about that. I'll cook it up for later.
Oh, Glaive, I have missed your humor. So, what can you tell me about the society? What are we dealing with? Where do their allegiances lie?
Well, the leader thinks he's the Grand Poobah and he likes to get what titles he can grab.
The Grand Poobah.
The Grand Poobah.
Doink?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, he might
So
not be a
he's like-
threat then.
Well, he might be. I wouldn't put it past him to do what is necessary for a title.
I'm very confused. Am I to take them as a threat, or are they not a threat?
What
is their military?
I don't know their numbers.
All right.
Exactly.
Continue with Garrison's. What?
If Dressig wants them, they are a threat. Period. I don't know what she's talking about because I was kind of
The
in prison
Bollywog.
at the time.
Oh, that's
I-
right. You don't.
I know what the Bollywogs are. I know what they are. I was told that part. I don't
Yeah.
know why you guys were there. I don't know what you did.
That would be because of me.
Because of
Let-
you.
Well, Doris explain.
We were there for a short while. They saw me as a fulfillment of a prophecy. And they basically planned to use me as a figurehead for their army, I guess. But we wanted no part of it. There were other people not far from them who they were kind of at war with, and unfortunately, we haven't spoken to any of them in a long time, so we don't really know what any of them are up to.
Very good. Glaive, thank you for the information on their apparent threat. Garrison 6 and Hawthorne Legion, both of them send scouting parties into the Rift Mist. I would like to size up their army get a feel for this new culture.
So I have a quick question.
Yes.
To
To who? To Oliver or to Cal?
Cal.
Okay, drop the accent.
Just wanted to quickly look at the spell simulacrum before I said anything. It doesn't necessarily say my simulacrum. Am I good? think I dropped
All I
for-
heard was, "Am I good?"
I dropped for a second there.
Okay, you're back.
My simulacrum. It is a copy of the creature at the time I created it.
Mhm.
It's up to you, as if it would remember everything that Xavier would say if he was there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
My understanding on that would be it wouldn't know how to do what you can do if it doesn't know what you can do, or know the things you know. So
Right.
yes.
Okay. Well, another reason why we did go down there was for a vestige of divergence, and Eldorus just so happened to fit the description to one of their Messiah God people.
Not so sure that we wanted it out that we were going after vestiges, though.
Surprised you didn't tell them already.
Didn't
Enough.
Put that out.
Either way, it didn't go as we planned it. And here we are. You know what we know.
Well, thank you for the information. It is much appreciated, and that will definitely aid our scouting parties having at least a flavor text of what to expect.
Are militaristic. Oh. Question for DM.
Answer for player.
We were knowledgeable of those assassin type warriors they had on the water, right?
No,
We're not. Okay.
no, that was something the DM told you afterward. Hey, by the way, wait a minute.
I mean, we could assume that any
No. Yes,
kingdom
you
or
guys,
empire is gonna have
you
some
guys
assassins.
did fight them briefly. I'm trying to remember where it was that the assassins came out because I used their puddle ability. Why was that?
It was right outside Masuda's camp, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. They were attacking Masuda's camp. So yeah, there was you were not aware of the ones that were in the palace that I told
We're
you
aware
afterward.
of
Was like
those type of units.
you are aware of those type of units. Yes, I will say that.
I will say one more thing. Be cautious. They have some of their warriors are very stealthy.
They have assassins, brother.
Very dangerous
And-
ones.
They can breathe underwater.
Of course they can because they're amphibians. But they hide
Magic
beneath the
helps.
surface and they can ambush you. So be wary.
Send that report along with the scouts. Be wary of sources of water. Thank you. Is there something that I can do for you? I assume you did not come here to listen to my war room speech.
We did a bit. We want to know what we're dealing with. Right now, we have people on the inside of Jurassic's camp.
Attempting to get into Jurassic's camp.
Oh, please. Those three, they're already in.
Wait.
Very well. What can I provide for you?
We need to know if you have somebody in there that they can contact.
I do, actually. I've left one of my best scouts in the area. His name is Malar. He has been placed in charge of that goat path that I alluded to. They should seek him out. And just be warned, he is very trigger happy.
How likely is he to be there at this time of day?
I would say very likely. He's been researching their camp, taking note of their movements, I understand they had recent losses of the scouting party, so he has remained behind just to keep an eye on them and send reports back to myself.
Then likely they already have met. Let's see. What kind, or do you have a map of the area yet?
I do.
The camp.
I do. I was sent a copy of this map that that Milan sent to me. Amalar sent to me. He pulls up the same map that he gave to the three in the previous section.
Why is my phone password locked? I don't even use it. Doo-da. There we go.
You're basically realizing in this conversation that everything he knows is the information that he got from his scouting party that was up there, heralded by Malar.
I am down 2 spells, so I don't want to use too many sendings.
DTS.
Time to
Time to
spell.
send.
Okay, that's what that means. Anyways, all right, if we were to attempt to stage an assault, what would be the most useful? Is that a rock wall around the ever fresh spring?
Yes, that is correct. There are 2 stages of walls that are leading up to the New Umber Hills. There's an exterior wall, and they've built a fortification partway through, which leads to another cliff face with a spring that feeds into it as well. As how they are providing fresh water for the camp.
Poison that spring.
You could certainly try. I'm open to attempts at poisoning them, but
It's probably a bad idea.
probably a bad idea. In terms of a frontal assault, it's quite a choke point, and most likely a suicide run. So, which is why we have been relying mostly on attempting to fortify our own location, as Amon is very wide open, as we saw when the Ravager horde came through. They could have swept directly into the city, and the response time would not have been fast enough to stop them before at least a dastardly handful entered the city.
Do you have an idea of their forces on the inside?
From what has been sent back by Malar, they have only scratched the surface. The further they attempted to get into the camp was met by heavy resistance from a goblin zealots, is the best way I can describe how Malar told them to me. We estimate their numbers starting around 10,000.
And what do we have?
That's it.
Right now, we have
Oh,
Right now, we have the garrison of 15,000 from Emon, plus another 5 from Whitestone.
So we have 20,000.
these goblins, do you have a description of them? Like, are they covered in scars? Do they have pinpoint eyes? Are they out of their minds more so than regular goblins?
They were definitely described as zealots to me.
We had to deal with them before. There is no reasoning with them. The goblins, at least.
I don't think there's going to be reasoning with anybody that follows Jurassic, but that's just my opinion.
Well, that is a concern if your other brothers are with them.
Let's see. Orcish quarters, Stabby Lane. I'm guessing that's the goblins. What do we know about the ritual site?
Not
What do
much.
you know?
Malar has told me that there is a strange creature that frequents a path and seems to communicate daily with an entity at the ritual site. It seems to be a one-sided conversation. It sometimes speaks, sometimes communicates telepathically through some void or rift.
Probably speaking to the Chained Oblivion.
Yeah. He's been trying to get into our
Realm.
business. Could
He's the one that
you
kidnapped our
get
father
into
parents.
could you get into contact with somebody from Vasselheim.
Vasselheim. I could certainly have a war mage send a message, of course.
And how much do you trust your people here in this war room?
He glances around. There's the odd assortment of various generals. He eyes them, and you see him getting ready to give an affirmation. It almost seemed
Hesitant?
instinctual. Then, as he's about to say something, he glances at the rest of the staff in the room, people milling about, bringing papers.
How about
I
we
trust little these days.
You trust what?
Little.
little?
You trust little?
Does not trust many people, Glaive.
Well, you kept talking over Cal. I couldn't hear.
Yes, I trust few.
We have something that Dressig is going to probably be very desperate to get. It's my turn to talk too much, Elena.
Go on.
We have part of the Chained Oblivion spark.
Everyone in the room just kind of stops for a moment.
You might want to send everyone that you don't trust out.
Everyone out. The room kind of looks around. Couple people try to protest a little bit, but one person kind of comes up to the table. But sir, I've been nothing but loyal. As another general just walks over, puts a gauntlet on his chest, and begins to back him out of the room. A couple moments pass as everyone slowly trickles out. The final door all shut around. The chamber is yours, Glaive.
We have two sparks in our actual possession. One of them is none of anyone's business except for hers. The other one is the Chained Oblivions. If we are going to actually go with the assumption that Drastic is working with the Chained Oblivion, then that extremely potent mote of power could be used as significant leverage. But that is one hell of a bomb. That's why I want a high-ranking cleric or priest from Vasselheim to be able to keep it under control. And I don't mean a literal bomb. I do not mean a literal bomb. I'm making that clear to the room.
I think we're clear, Glaive.
Okay.
It must specifically be a cleric.
It has to be somebody of high divine servitude. So a cleric is, well, what I think would be the best choice.
I shall send word. Unfortunately, clerics, especially in Vasselheim, are not as okay with arcane travel. The fastest they could get here is several weeks by airship.
How willing are you to trust a gold round dragonborn?
I
Talking about
feel like
the
this is the lead up to a joke. Is someone going to walk into the bar?
I apologize. There was a dragonborn some time ago that killed me. We're better now. We got over it.
I'm trusting less, strangely.
And I asked him to make up that act against me by infiltrating Drassic's camp and helping to locate your brothers for Elena's sake.
Go on.
He is a paladin of Bahamut.
Platinum Sanctuary.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's currently in Drassic's camp.
Are we
If
sure about that?
sorry, what, Elena?
Are we sure that he's there and not like trapped or something?
Or that he didn't just fuck off somewhere.
Have your scouts reported anything about a gold dragonborn in that camp?
Not specifically.
Well, last time I sent him a sending, he said that he was there, and he made specific mention of your brothers.
Well, why don't you send him another one? Just to be certain.
He's already down. He's already down 2 spells.
Well, what
That's-
time of day is it anyway?
2 p.m.
Wow. And they're already backing him on? It was
Oh,
3.
yeah,
it
no.
was
You're right.
3 when we got to that blockade.
Yeah, so I guess it's about 5, getting close to sunset.
I will send a message to Benedictus. Are you in Drassic's camp at the New Umber Hills? Grunt once for yes, twice for no.
There is a brief pause. Sorry, I had something caught in my throat, guys.
Oh, ancestors. Okay. I'm glad I specified that last part. He grunted once for yes. He's there. He is in the New Umber Hills. And why is it the New Umber Hills? He's in a pass.
Our understanding from a cultural standpoint, I was discussing with many members of the Cobalt Soul. The Drassic family once led a demon insurrection into our lands that created the Umber Hills as they stand today. The blood that was spilled from the demons stains the ground to this day, and has made it a barren wasteland. Our assumption is that he plans to do something very similar here, and has therefore declared it the New Umber Hills.
That definitely sounds like something Drassic would do.
That's morbid as hell. Ugh. I feel dirty.
I hate to
Anyways,
tell you how you look.
You're not looking so clean yourself these days.
Yes, he glances down at the opal and gold plated armor he had been wearing before, which is now very cracked and clearly unpolished. Yes, hardly time for upkeep these days.
upkeep's not that hard, as I cast Mending to fix his armor.
And I'll cast Prestidigitation to fix up some of the polish.
Oh, wow. You'll just have to show off, don't you?
Cantrips.
As the two of you very quickly Sailor Moon him transformation back into his.
I mean, that describes it perfectly.
He gets a magic girl moment.
He glances down. Hardly any time for.
Alright.
Thank you.
Very much the least I can do.
Appreciate it.
How do you wish to proceed in Oliver?
Let me get this.
Spark. Yep. Go ahead.
Let me get this. Let me just try to understand. You have, from my scouts reports, 2 friends that are imprisoned in there. There are my 2 brothers that are also somehow imprisoned or coerced or, God help them,
can we,
complicit.
Torture them or like do something to them if they're helping Drassic.
Oh,
I'm
please.
not happy with them.
I have floggings in mind for them. But regardless, best case scenario, we have 4 people on the inside. Now you are telling me we have a 5th person on the inside, and it sounds to me like your plan is we need to extract all of them.
I'll extract or just completely decimate the camp.
One of them is completely armed and armored.
Fortunately, I do not have much faith in one armed and armored, rotund dragonborn, as you put it, against 10,000 strong army. And even though we outnumber them, their defensive location has proved worrisome. But I have some ideas.
Oh yeah.
That's what
Ideas
I
are
like.
good.
He walks over to the table, kind of points to that front gate. A front gate with the main entryway is an inviting target, something the enemy would expect, something the enemy is prepared for, and the last thing they would expect is for us to do what they expect. And therefore, if we mount either an invasion directly at the front gate or make them think we're going to mount an invasion at the front gate, that would potentially provide enough of a distraction for you to move more freely about their camp while their eyes are set to the front.
Yeah.
Just a thought. I have just been recently speaking with a member of the Alabaster Lyceum and some of the other arcanists here within Iman on what magical means we could use to bombard the exterior of their fortifications, which has largely gone unanswered, but I suppose a secondary... Go ahead.
I have an idea. If
I relish your ideas, Elena. They are always colorful.
so, we mount the frontal attack, correct? If we have magicians or wizards or sorcerers, whatever it may be, relies on magicians, surrounding the camp and just hitting them with fireballs.
It would definitely be a
Or
pain.
hitting them. It would be a what?
A pain.
Oh, yes. Yes.
It would be a great way to indiscriminately kill your brothers and our other friends.
That was the main reason we
Well-
had not begun this. We were worried what, being the revolution that had occurred within our city briefly, the riots in the street, we were worried that if we do mount a frontal assault, it could come across as too militaristic and potentially sway the hearts and minds of our own populace.
I'm not saying it was a perfect idea, alright? It was an idea.
Do we have any others?
A pincer maneuver to divide their forces.
That would work.
Unfortunately, they are very well dug in their area. The only way to do a pincer maneuver would be to somehow get a force to the other side of the mountain range through potentially Craghammer, and unfortunately, they have been unable to answer our call.
I
Or-
have a different take on that.
Hmm.
Let's take the pincer maneuver and instead stab right at the heart of the camp. Our own
Classic.
wizard Xavier. Hey, let me finish. Our own wizard Xavier has created a spell that allows him to teleport a certain number of people to him.
The other one, not me.
Correct.
This is
This one's a simulacrum.
Yeah.
So
There's
we
two
can
of
get,
them now.
Yeah. Just
If
accept it
we
and
can-
get over it.
get that spell scribed on 3 or 4 scrolls, get a few scouts in there, your people can teleport right into the middle of their camp, set fire to as many tents as you please, and indiscriminately kill goblins, orcs, and problems. You would need tents to force.
A bit of a problem with that, with spells. They're most likely to describe it into a book, not a scroll, because scrolls can take a lot longer to make. So I could
Or
could
we
potentially-
just get some wizards.
just teach some wizards how to do the spell.
Unfortunately, that sounds like a suicide mission. One I'm not willing to send people to their deaths.
Plus, the people casting the spell would have to be in the camp already.
Honestly, I wish I was just strong enough to just go take Thrasig just head on.
Well, he reaches into a pocket of his armor, hands you a thin rolled up piece of parchment. You have an invitation if you want.
What do you mean I have an invitation?
Well, technically it's my invitation, but you're welcome. And as you roll, if assuming you roll open this piece of parchment, it's wrapped
Yeah.
with a red a ribbon. You undo it, open it up. It's a request for Drassig to duel Oliver Derolo for in the center of the plains between Amon and the New Umber Hills, as a show of force, solidarity, and unity, to whom's people shall unite with the victor.
You know this is a trap, brother.
Oh, why do you think it's in my armor? And I have not marched across the dividing plain or not the dividing plain, the plains to meet him in open combat.
But it could work if we could take him out.
Well,
It wouldn't be him.
it also could serve as a grabs the gun.
It would also serve as a distractor. We could get people into the camp while he's gone with him and his chosen group, because he's going to bring his generals to prove his strength.
Potentially get more people.
Potentially get people.
My family.
Oh yes.
Possibly get
Yes,
some of them
yes.
inside. My a
And
lot of my siblings are
Wait.
really good at infiltrating.
Where exactly are they meeting, or where's this meeting?
I was challenged to duel directly between Amon and the dividing plains. So right where the battles met, tracing the orcs north.
I mean, and he honestly wouldn't expect me to accept it.
Well, he might honestly not accept your duel in the first place. It is me he has
Well, that would be
challenged.
no, but we say that it's you,
You want to
No.
duel in my
and I
place.
show up.
We
Yes.
say Derolo accepts your duel. If he shows up and he's not satisfied with the Derolo he's got, then he's a
And you get
coward.
forced.
You want me to send my little sister in my stead to accept a duel? How does that make me look as a leader and a brother?
Here's the thing.
Say we tied you up.
She stole it from you.
Well, I mean, you did kind of give it to her. So, what does that make you look like?
A trusting brother.
But I mean, honestly, if I know my reputation, most of the world thinks of me as the bratty little sister who's really annoying.
No, you.
And
No, never.
don't
Thank you,
speak
Greg.
to condescendingly to me, either of you.
No, she's right. She's 100% right.
Y'all are assholes, all of you. But I stole it, and you're not aware that I stole it. Or I mean, you're aware and you're coming, but
Do you realize that would require me to renounce what you are doing
yes,
publicly?
yes. But then it would still make you look good because you didn't accept it.
And I still have a 500 gold piece diamond in case she bites it.
There's that.
That's
not.
I
very-
meant to phrase that better. I apologize.
not
If you want to
comfortable.
draw him out, he'll have to think he has the right to Rolo for a long enough time that he comes out to meet you. I have a proposition for that you are not going to like.
Oh God, I'm okay. What is your proposition?
He taps himself on the chest. Ding ding.
You want me? Oh God. Okay, all right. I mean, we're similar in size.
Can you use some magic to make you look more like your brother here?
He'd see you coming from a mile away.
Yes.
Hold
I
on.
mean, the most you would have to do is change my hair. To be
Elena, can you
white.
even wear heavy armor? Correction,
Can't-
can you even fight in it?
That's why I suggested. Well,
You'll-
she has a strength of 19.
I do have a strength of 19. I
Yeah,
just-
but does she have proficiency
I think rangers get proficiency in it.
in heavy armor?
No.
They only get medium.
Yeah, medium armor. Is
You'll
it
be
considered
happy
medium
to-
or heavy?
You will be happy to note, as this was provided by my significant other, it is elven plate and is
significant other.
Elena de Rollo. I am not above smacking you.
When's the wedding?
Please don't. We are going to have to explain why Elena has a black eye to all of your generals, and I don't want to deal with the rumors.
With elven plate, it is much lighter, and you should be able to, at the very least, move normally. Maybe not some of your typical motherly acrobatics that we're used to, but you would at least be able to function.
And I'm assuming that he's probably not going to be far enough away that I can use my bow, so it'll probably be swords.
Very possibly.
I hate your armor so much. It's just so flashy.
It's gorgeous. You know it's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous and it suits you very well.
Thank
It
you,
does-
Glaive.
It does
I'm
suit
going-
you well, brother.
I'm going to go stand over with Glaive.
Doris is like, well, Doris is like dry heaving.
While this conversation has gone on, other Xavier has written up a letter in Thieves' Cant and said, "I'll be right back," and we'll go and deposit this in for.
So, wait. Before you run off, let us. So I will go meet Drasig, and we will have other people infiltrate the camp. Where will you be, brother?
I will be coming after you. Long enough time for you to distract Drassig's army, but not long enough that I cannot show up and renounce you in front of everyone and tell them what a terrible idea this is, and that it was not my idea, and that you do not represent me, and the entire world will see you as a rebellious
Pariah?
child.
I mean, it's what I am.
I guess you are embracing it for the good of Taldore,
Yes.
which shall not
Potentially
go
the world.
forgotten. For potentially the world. And it will not go unforgotten in this new era.
Yeah.
History is watching us, Elena. We'll get our preparations ready. I understand.
Has her eyes on us.
I understand, Wizard, that you mentioned something about your family.
Yes, potentially get some more people inside to take care of some more heavy hitters in the camp.
Are we still attacking the camp, or are we drawing them out?
Well, we have people set to go into the camp, but we can attack while they're weakened at the camp while they're being
So
pulled.
we get them at both fronts. We get them with the Drasig, and then we
Yeah.
get the ones left at the camp as well.
A semi-pincer
going-
attack.
Knowing you're similar to my style for flair, I would recommend a more stealthy approach in the camp. We do not want the entire army to vacate and then have a handful of fireballs go off behind them, in which they would probably flock back.
Oh yeah, then
Why they won't wait long enough for them to leave.
and we'll probably take care of more key players,
Very well.
and then
Tomorrow, we march for the new Umbra Hills then.
I will head out and
Do I
Get-
run tonight?
I will head out and talk with my family.
Alright. So we need to send a message to Drasig, telling him that the
While you guys are doing that, little smaller preparation plans for doing this tomorrow.
we also need to message them.
Send a message to Jurassic Camp telling them that that De Rollo will meet you in open combat where requested,
And
Uh,
also and Group A of Vox Vena Aneron.
yes. From there, I'm going to take a chill pill, and we're going to switch back to the other group here, currently up in the Umber Hills. Are you going to do anything tonight?
Other than possibly keeping an eye out for the spectators route,
Mhm.
is any other key things we see? Probably not engaging or anything.
Are there any giants in the camp?
Glancing at the current state of things, you do not see any from your current location, no.
Okay.
You can tell, though, that the camp does go further than the map shows. Just
Right.
wasn't able to be mapped. There's a very big potential that they are not in the front.
Is there any evidence of giants, like tracks and whatnot?
Uh,
Particularly like around the walls, like did they help build them?
Yes, as you kind of glance around the walls, you can see those large machines. You can see that in the mud there are giant footprints about the area that assisted in the building.
Okay, because I remembered those. I was like, wait a second. human, stabby, orcish.
Um, Paula, are you doing anything this evening?
Did we lose her?
Nope,
No,
she's
you
thinking.
haven't lost me.
No, she's thinking.
I haven't decided.
Let's
Um,
see.
Can you come back to me?
Nope. So Paula, make a perception check.
Okay, that works too. $23.
As you are looking out over the camp, closer to the human section, where the trees are kind of the thickest, there's one tree that looks kind of burnt, kind of broken and twisted. Probably one of the campfires got a little overzealous, went up in the tree. There's still greenery on it. It's just not looking the greatest. And as you're looking at it, it's a beautiful tree, almost the organic quality, the way it twists, it almost looks like the figure of a woman, larger than normal, but you can see this form clearly in the bark that looks feminine in nature, and you could almost swear that you saw it blink. Like two knots in the trees kind of closed that were watching you, and then reopened, but are now just twists in the bark.
Do I get like any type of feeling from it? Like, do I get
Make an insight check.
26?
No, it's kind of quizzical. Is the best way I could describe it, I suppose.
Dang it. I don't know what to do. Um, sorry.
You're fine. Take your time.
I've also lost one of my binders. Oh, there it is.
So what happens to the fake Xavier if you die? Yes, you.
Oh, you're player to player, or
I'm talking to you.
say it doesn't go away until I think it's dispelled.
So if you die, does he become the new Xavier?
You become a Xavier.
Huh.
The Simic lasts until it drops to zero hit points, at which point it reverts to snow and melts instantly.
So what if it gets really hot? Will he just melt?
No.
What about like really hot?
Enough to take damage, then yes. Magic holds them all together. Better than Frosty.
What if it's really, really cold?
He acts like a normal human.
But he's made of snow.
That's a component, yes.
So if it's really cold.
He is a really, really, really good snowman.
Sapala, as you continue to kind of watch at it, your eyes seem to be like playing tricks on you. The swaying of the breeze, you can almost see it beckon you toward it. The wind rustling and its the limb that would be its arm kind of motioning you toward.
Sapala stands up and starts kind of not really walking towards that direction, but just focusing over there.
Do it.
It seems like the harder you focus on it, the less you can see of the tree, and every time your mind wanders, you see more of it.
Sapala takes a few steps closer.
Are you stealthing closer, or are you just walking across the field?
Stealthing.
Okay, roll a stealth check.
Like a curious little cat or something.
I know what happened with the cat. Got curious.
Satisfaction brought it back.
And it made good dinner.
21.
21. All right, perfect. So you
Nice.
begin to stealth toward this tree, and as you get closer, you can see even more features of this feminine entity, almost merged with a tree. And as you get closer, it seems to step out of the tree. You now see this beautiful, kind of green-skinned woman, wreathed in leaves, standing 7 feet tall in front of you. As you approach, she kind of stoops forward. You have the breath of one who breathes like a tree.
Yes.
You breathe with the forest. Do you not? You
I do.
sway with nature. Are you not like them? She points over toward the rest of the camp, and as your eyes kind of glance over, you suddenly see the tree stumps that had been used to create the original wall. The trees that had been felled. What once up here had been a sprawling glade is now just a cluster of trees.
I am.
This used to be a sacred circle one that has existed for many rotations. Now they come, they chop us down, they burn the tree, and we are filled with rage. But my sisters are all gone. I am all that remains of the sacred grove. But I sense from you I can sense her in the grass, in the wind that rustles my leaves, in the water that comes from the sky. She tells me, you, come. She tells me you will return this grove back to its sacred land. Is this true?
I will do what I can.
Do not give me hope, sapling. Do not give me something to cling on to where there is none.
I will return it. I am here with you now. You are no longer alone, and I will return it back to its glory. I make that promise now, on my life.
You see this wave of relief kind of wash over. The wind itself seems to blow through the leaves. Then you will have the wrath of nature at your back when you do. She steps back to the tree. You will have the wrath of nature when you do, sapling. And kind of just merges into the tree and is completely gone.
Well.
That's where we'll end tonight's session.
What? No!
Well, hell.
Good.
Heel.
Why do you do this to us?
Called a cliffhanger.
It's called a cliffhanger, and I typically have to work at, or I always have to work at, and oh, by the way, I'm on a new schedule now, so I now work a half hour earlier every single day. So now I no longer work at 9, I now work at 8:30 on Saturdays.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it was a promotion. I get more money.
Hey.
That's fair.
Congratulations.
That's
Yeah.
good at least.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
how
My
you
supervisor went to nights and asked me to follow him, so I have that choice going. So I know how you feel.
I have the wrath of nature, and I'm kind of
Peggy-
excited.
Peggy just wants a job. Also, we're totally having a Merry and Pippin thing from Lord of the Rings moment.
That's why I said Attack of the.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, have a good night, everybody. Thank
Good
you for
night.
joining.
I gotta go. I gotta run. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Surprise the job.